And whenever I go stateside, all my mates and everyone abroad would always ask questions and have all these numerous questions. I thought, well, I should be documenting so many things, and there's so many interesting things that I guess I wanted to talk about that existed outside the cliche things. What reggae music, everyone talks about that. Voodoo religion. I mean, that's this thing everyone takes fascination. But I think there's so many other things. And one thing that always came up is well, what? But you're white. You're living in these black countries. That's strange. That doesn't make sense. That was a mindset a lot of people have in outside of the Caribbean. Kind of can even exist within those countries. You can find this. Well, white people don't belong here, or you know. You would have these. It was a very interesting thing. And one thing that was striking is I remember in Kingston, Jamaica, I was getting a ride from Father Ho Lung, his the missionaries of the poor. I'm acquainted with them,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them, yeah, I did volunteer work for them briefly, and some of them saw me walking down the street. I got a ride, and I was in the back of this truck with these Americans that were visiting, and they thought it was bizarre that I was a white person walking down the street in Kingston, and they said something about how you can't walk around here, kid. What, you got to get off the tourist resort or something. You know, you can't be in it. Thought it was a. They told me that I was going to get chopped up or murdered because I'm white. Or I said, then pray tell, sir, how do you think white Jamaicans survive if everyone here is out to murder them? And he said, white Jamaicans, that's ridiculous. Well, at that around that same time, a few minutes later, they stopped to meet with a benefactor. I don't know if I should say who. We'll say someone who has a family who has a big resort. We'll say in Jamaica, so that's narrows it down.
Yeah.
But they're white, and we came in for a visit, and they fed everyone coffee and bread pudding. And these people were shocked. They were asking, "So where are you all from?" And they said, "We're Jamaican." Well, where are you originally from? Jamaica. Well, where are your parents? Jamaica. And their jaws dropped, and I felt this vindication. I was kind of looking over that you just it's just an interesting experience of that shock and ignorance. So not all Haitians are of African descent. They're a small minority that still remain, and I wanted to give that history and that story and who those people were.